Hey, everybody, and welcome. This is Bob. And tonight I'm having a conversation with Watch It. Well, actually, not Watch It, right? But two people that are associated with it. And another Bob, although he goes by Robert because he's fancy.
Only my niece that I haven't seen in 20 years calls me Bob.
Oh, really? Is there a reason for that, or?
I'm estranged from my sister, is all. So I don't see.
Oh well, that's lovely. So that's why she calls.
Goes.
So she has no idea who you are. So
no, she would not. I don't think she would recognize me if she called me on the street. Not at all.
And Donnell is our other person. Did I pronounce that correctly?
It's Donnell. Yeah.
Oh, you emphasis on the Don.
You got to.
And also, I was soft playing the Don part there. So
you got to hit the Don hard.
Donnell, okay. Yeah. You guys doing good this evening? Are you estranged from anyone, Donnell?
I mean, me and my dad have a pretty meh relationship, and most of my mom's side of the family I barely talk to. So I mean,
oh my gosh, you guys, what is going on?
Oh man, no, I tell you, like both my parents and my grandparents on both sides are dead, and I don't know. I talk to my brother pretty often, but he lives on the other side of the country. So
I notice your brother calls you Rob. No one else.
Oh, Rob.
Because he knows me from back in the day, and everybody wanted to call me Rob, and he just did it. And I was like, well, I can't stop my family from doing it. I can just stop talking to them.
Old habits die hard. So I think you maybe owe him a few things. It sounds like with the Rob part. The so yeah, it's like we'll call it Death and Estrangement. That's the name of the show tonight.
I can go down that road with you.
I mean, I got a few, not as much as Robert, but I got a few. So
oh my gosh, you guys!
We can go there.
So now I know why you're doing this. You're like, might as well. What the heck? There's no family reunions or anything, so might as well just do this.
I've been.
My Easters are pretty clear. That's
I've been to one family reunion in my life, and it was back when I was like 7 or 8, and I just remember it was on my dad's side. We went down to Oregon, and they just like that when night came, they're like, "Hey, go sleep in there with all your cousins." And there's just one bed and like 8 of us boys. And they're like, go sleep in there. I was like, where am I supposed to sleep? Like right there in the bed. And I was like, I don't know them. Like they're your cousins. Like I've never seen half of these people in my life.
How
just
old were you?
Because we're related doesn't mean I feel any more comfortable. Like
what's this bucket? That's the next question.
You looked at least that was before like one of them was weird enough to like touch themselves in the middle of the night. You know?
My gosh.
I mean, one of them could have been because, like I said, I was 7, but I think the oldest was like 13, 14. They just threw us all in one room, and they're like, "Here's the bed."
One of them did a clandestine yank for sure. Like,
oh my goodness, got the cousin wanking and the.
Yeah.
Wow, no wonder you're estranged.
It might be. I mean, I haven't seen any of them since, so I don't know what that says.
Maybe. Did you spend the night or no?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I was a 7-year-old. I had no.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, there you go.
Parents just like you. They're your cousins. You're sleeping in there. They closed the door, and that was it. I was just like, all right.
Did you actually sleep, or did you like just sit in the corner, like with your hands around your knees and?
Like it was a
Saudi. I also was 7, so I just was like, I guess this is life.
Okay,
you know, I figure like older me would probably have a lot more questions, but 7-year-old me was like, this is weird, but I guess this is what you do. I guess this is what everybody does. If they go in a room with a bunch of strangers that are their cousins,
who they're told
go to sleep. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
that was the one family reunion I went to. Haven't been to another one since.
At least it was, I mean, unless we're gonna have have to do a little trauma intervention here for this, or what?
No.
Okay,
that trauma.
Now you can't go into a room with more than 2 people, or else.
Donnell, arrange the dolls in the box in the order that everyone.
That's right. Show me on this Ken doll. Where everybody let's arrange them in the bed. No, let's move off that topic, please. If you don't mind. I may have some kind of trauma.
You were saying before the show started if we wanted to, stop to edit anything. I'm like, you might be the one who wants to stop.
No, I don't. Oh boy. No,
when me and Robert get going sometime.
There's been worse. So how? Well, now I hate to ask this question because maybe it's going to be another. We'll go on another rabbit hole here. So, how did you guys meet? Were you thrown into a room together as youngins, or?
We were thrown into a room together as adults.
As adults,
yeah. So we both worked at a company. Did you get hired straight into the company, or were you in customer service or tech support?
We're talking about the CIA at this point.
I was in tech support.
Okay. So Donnell was working in tech support for this company, and I was working.
I'm guessing you don't work there anymore.
No, neither of us worked there.
Yeah, okay. And you were in what? I'm sorry, Robert?
I was working in a telephony engineering position, doing this phone thing.
You're throwing out the big words.
And I went, it sounds like I was a customer service rep, but we ran a phone network. I went on a short vacation, and I was the supervisor of the team at the time. And then I came back from vacation. They said, "Hey, we hired this guy Donnell to the team, so go train him."
Guess what?
I was like, okay.
It's one of my cousins that needs a job. I used to sleep in the same room at 7 years old, but
I had been working at this company for about 6 months, and they were like, "Hey," when he got hired on, they're like, "Hey, you could apply for new positions, but you're probably not going to get moved up in a year or before a year or anything." But I was doing tech support. I was hating every moment of it. I was like, I got to get out of here. And so I applied to be in phone ops, and I got the job. And so I was kind of feeling like, I was feeling like a big man. I was like, yeah, I've only been here. I think it was only 5 months. I've only been here 5 months. They already see the value. And me and one other guy got hired. I'm like, yeah, beat out all those people. Found out only 2 people applied. So
oh, wow.
Got in by default. Like at first I was like, yeah, I'm doing all right. They saw the potential, and it was like, oh no, it's just kind of, well, we need 2 people. 2 people applied. Guess that covers it.
What are we gonna do, right? Yeah, we gotta fill. They're telling me to hire somebody. I might as well just get these guys.
Pretty much.
So you guys got tossed together in a work situation, huh? And now, do you work together still, or that time has passed?
No, we have diverged, but we did work together for quite a while.
Worked together for a while, like Robert said. He was my boss to begin with, and then we were co-workers in another department, and then I was his boss. So it was very roundabout. I'll tell you one thing: if you would have told me who was working in phone ops under Robert that one day I would have a podcast with him and I consider him one of my best friends, I'd be like, you are fucking out of your mind. Because I couldn't stand Robert back in the day when he was my boss.
Well, he was your boss. He's probably
and then
trying to get you to do all his work. That's what the bosses do, don't they?
Well, he went on to start working in IT, and then eventually I came over to IT, and he trained me.
Oh, really?
In that when I did that career change. And so we were working as equals, and just when you work in IT with a couple of guys, you just chit chat and around all day. And we discovered we had a similar love of movies and television. And eventually
there's only so many times you can answer the phone.
We gotta look at doing a podcast. So
people
only so many times you can answer the phone and say, "Have you tried turning it off and on again?"
That was tech support. IT is not like that too much these days.
That's what you tell tech support. Quit calling me.
There's a decent amount of turning it on and off, but there's additional tasks on top of that.
Okay.
The tech
that was my IT crowd reference. In case you didn't
doesn't fix as many problems as it used to, unfortunately.
Yeah. So now you guys have, did you start doing the show when you were working together, or did you start doing the show after you were working? I mean, when you went apart?
While we were working together.
Yeah.
Oh, while you were working. Oh, okay.
I mean, the main reason this podcast even exists is because of COVID. Because
we're a total COVID podcast for sure.
Everybody was like, "You guys are so good together. You guys are so funny. You should do a podcast." We're all like, "Yeah, whatever, maybe." Sure. And we kept tossing around, and then COVID hit. and suddenly we had a lot more time on our hands, and we are just like, "You want to try that podcast thing out?"
Do you find it odd that you guys want to talk to each other, yet you're estranged from your parts of your family?
No, because I got to choose. I got to choose.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm
okay, so
estranged
it's a
from
choice.
a lot of friends I used to have too.
I
Donnell's just like current, but in like 5 years.
Oh, okay. He's on his way out the door. Gotcha.
Yeah. This is there's a fine timeline before this.
Right. COVID's over, but what are you like on a 5-year turn? You're almost
about a 10-year. 10 year. It's like after 10 years of hanging around somebody, I'm like, I'm moving on. You're boring now. I know everything.
Well, good. At least everybody's on the same page that way.
Yeah. No, honestly, I I'm right there with Robert of like, it's you get to choose, I have friends that I've had for, a couple decades now because like we got to choose each other and we liked each other. We're like family. It's like, no, they just expect you. Like, this is your cousin, your best friends now. I'm like, no, that's not how any of this works.
Wrong century, bitch.
my biggest issue with my family, not issue, but like why I'm probably estranged. It's not even that bad blood or anything. It's that my mom, maybe you could say that because of that, my mom was very estranged from her siblings. So when she got out of high school, the first thing she did was join the Navy and got as far away from home as possible. Moved to Guam, or was stationed in Guam, and then when they came back, they moved us to the West Coast, where my family lives in the Midwest. Or what is St. Louis? I don't know what St. Louis is. That Midwest?
I'm in St. Louis. I'm your family.
Oh my God! Get me off the stage.
I do live in St. Louis, actually, but anyway, St. Louis is the Midwest.
Okay, Midwest.
Y'all are big on Rocky Horror Picture Show things, right?
In St. Louis, maybe.
Yeah, I've only driven to St. Louis once. I remember seeing like several theaters that were doing Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Maybe
maybe that's not a thing anymore. Maybe that's big.
No, I think that time has passed. But I would say there was a time where everybody would show in the midnight Rocky Horror. But it's funny, I actually am in St. Louis. I'm not joking. I don't think that we're related, but because I'm not from St. Louis. But the you never know, Donnell.
I mean, there's a possibility, but there's also
it's remote.
Just like every state, there's a lot of people there.
So your estrangement is really learned behavior, is what you're telling me.
It's just all my like. We were raised over here, they were raised over there, and so like whenever I come around, I feel like I'm the odd man out because all my cousins they were raised together and hang out regularly together, and I'm like, hey, here's Donnell, and they're like, they got inside jokes, and I'm just like, cool, I have no idea what you guys talking about, and then my mom comes up to me later and be like, why don't you ever call your cousin? Like, and talk about what?
What? Talk about the arch.
It's like, I'm a dude. First, I'm not calling anybody without a reason. Like,
unless I need to borrow something or need money.
Or I'm drunk.
Like yeah. Or I'm forced
That's about when Robert calls me.
About 2 a.m. I'm like, Donnell, look at this funny thing I just saw.
Oh my goodness. So what was the initial bonding? What was the thing? You said you liked movies and TV. Was there one specific movie or television show?
Absolutely. Yeah. Doom Patrol.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen, I think, most of it at this point. But
that's what started the podcast. We both really liked it. Really thought.
Why isn't it called like Doom Patrol instead of Watching It?
Oh, because we knew that was that was going to end at some point.
Okay.
And we were going to cover other stuff, and we covered all the seasons, but you gotta branch out.
Yeah.
So
all the copyright.
Was it? Do you have Do you have pre-Doom Patrol knowledge? So did you read the comics, or was it just the TV show?
It was just the TV show. I don't know if Donnell had read some of the comics beforehand, but we've definitely read some since.
That's what I was going to say. Is it was more of we learned about the show as we watched it, because definitely I knew nothing about the Doom Patrol. before watching it, but really enjoyed the series. And then we started diving into this different comics, and I spend a lot of time reading up on just random stuff about different shows watching. A lot of time on Wikipedia, and sometimes get into the comics or just other resources. So yeah, if it piques my interest enough, I'll start digging into that.
So is the Wikipedia your go-to source? I mean, there used to be so many more things, in the past.
Wikipedia is probably my launching point a lot of the time,
Okay.
just because you type something into Google, the first thing is almost always the Wikipedia page for it. But I mean, that's usually just to get the feet wet,
Gotcha. And then it branches out from there, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just
Robert, you agree with that or no?
No, I just browse everything that I can find and check out a little bit of everything.
Oh, okay.
And something, I'll probably in like a regular week, I'll check out the first episode of like 5 or 6 shows, and then stick with like 3 of them.
Yeah.
So, favorite characters for that show?
And Doom Patrol, Larry.
Okay. I was gonna go with I really like Jane, Crazy Jane.
Jane's fantastic. Yeah. What an amazing job that actress did with that character. One of the best depictions of a multiple personality character ever.
But yeah. I mean, Larry's got some good stuff too. I mean, pretty much anybody other than Cyborg. I mean, no offense to Cyborg.
Cyborg is the worst in that show.
He's just so boring and just so like, oh, okay. Whenever a Cyborg episode would start up, we'd be like, well, this is going to be a quick episode of the podcast.
We'll be doing speeding through this thing.
We're just like, okay, Cyborg did some stuff. Next,
with the exception of the one episode where all the rest of the members, because he's like a more important character, like a higher echelon hero, and they're all just dreaming about being his sidekick.
Yeah. That was great. Like I said, they all have their moments, but yeah, I think Jane's my favorite by far.
Jane's a really good character.
Would you say that like that genre, so the kind of the superhero genre is one of those areas that you concentrate on more, or do you kind of go other places as well?
We're very much in the sci-fi vein, but sometimes we do some other stuff. It's hard to say that Doom Patrol is necessarily superhero. It's more like a surreal drama.
Yeah,
to be sure.
It's a different take for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's superhero realm for sure.
I will say, we try to cover a bunch of things. But if you listen to our podcast, we do hit the superhero quite a bit. I mean, we've covered a lot of Marvel shows. We've covered Invincible. We've covered The Boys, Doom Patrol. So we definitely have. I'd say like 60% of our content is in the hero
another
vein.
20% is time loop movies.
Yeah,
we love ourselves a good time loop movie.
That is something we discovered after the podcast. Is that, and I'm not even sure why, but we just both realized like we have both watched and dissected a lot of time. Like if a new movie comes out and nothing about it seems interesting, if you just tell us, oh, but it's a time loop, like, well, we're going to check.
It's time travel. Yeah.
Like,
so it doesn't have to be time travel necessarily. It could be anything that's related to time anomalies or anything, or.
Yeah,
I mean mainly time anomalies.
Time loops is a big one, but we do a time travel thing.
We do a lot of time travel, but I was gonna say like one of the movies. I think I think I can say this for both of us. One of our favorite movies that we've done was a movie that from the previews and stuff we're like, man, I don't know, and then we found out it was a time loop movie, and then okay, let's watch it, and then we watched it, and we're like, this is fantastic.
Was that Meat Cube
on screen? Oh, there's also Meat Cube.
Meat Cube is so good. It is the weirdest time loop love story.
Yes. I forgot about Meat Cube. Oh, that was
it had to be Palm Springs then that you're thinking.
Yeah,
of.
Palm Springs was what I was talking about.
Oh, Palm Springs is the name of that show that's the time movie?
It's a movie.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check it out.
Amazing.
I love time travel
Andy
movies
Samberg.
Oh,
as well.
Yeah, you should check out Palm Springs, and then also there's another movie called Meat Cube. Both of those are just prime time. Very
make a
fun.
note here. Palm Springs does not sound like a time travel movie. It sounds
No, it doesn't.
home.
We didn't know it was until we started investigating it, and then we're like, "Oh, this is a time loop movie. Oh, let's check this out." And it hits on a lot of things that people constantly talk about in time loop movies, of like how once you get into the loop, you just start doing whatever you want, or just like in the future, or just being like, yeah.
So does Groundhog Day fit into this area as well?
We both love Groundhog Day. We have not done Groundhog Day, oddly enough.
We talked about doing it this year for Groundhog Day, but then it didn't pan out.
Next year it comes around every year.
Exactly.
If only we could go back and do it all over again.
Yeah, one more year. Actually, the funny thing would be to say we're going to do Groundhog Day and then never do it. And every Groundhog Day beforehand, you say, we're going to do this and then never do it. To me, that would be hilarious.
We would do a different time loop movie every Groundhog Day.
There you go. But not do Groundhog Day. Yeah.
I wanted to start with one called 12:15, I think is what it's called. That was like a TV movie that came out like a few weeks after Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That movie is.
And it's atrocious.
It's so obscure to me. I mean, I see a lot of movies, but I've never heard of this.
It was like it was made
for
TV 80s movie. Like it is not good.
But you should check it.
Yeah,
that's okay. I don't mind watching.
If you can go into it with, I know this is a bad movie and I'm gonna trash it in my head or with a friend, that's where it's at.
It's a lot of fun to do that. Yeah.
I'll watch just about anything. There's very few things that I will not watch. It used to be that I would have to watch whatever I started watching. I'd have to finish. Nowadays, I don't do that. But I used to watch terrible things, and I had to finish it. That was my thing.
I've been there before. Yeah, you just
but now I don't. With streaming and everything, it's not the same. So you don't have to feel like you force yourself through it. Many years ago, when I had Netflix DVDs, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we got a DVD, I had to watch it all the way through. I couldn't send it back without, And then my wife would be like, we got to get the next one. It's like, and I sit down and watch things.
Mail.
So
yeah,
yeah.
Do they even do that service anymore? Where they mail the DVD?
Yeah, I think
they still
do.
It still exists. It is split. I mean, I think they're still under the same company, but they're technically sister brands.
Well, I was going to call it Quickster for a while, and then they just dropped that. But
they splintered off but
I think it is a separate thing.
I've known a few people who still do that. I'm just like, what is going on in your life?
I would say chances are they're pirating them because it's a great way to pirate movies.
Yeah. Great way to build
not that I'm drawing judgment on your friends there, but
no, I mean,
at this point, that's probably what you're doing.
Yeah, they get the DVD and then they make a copy and then mail it back, and I'm like, "Are you going to watch that?" And he's like, "No, I'm just adding it to my collection."
It's my collection, exactly. Yeah,
I'm like torrent it like a civilized person. Like,
circling. That just reminded me. One of the last times I went and visited my family, and just like the difference between me and my cousins is they were like, "Hey, let's all go bowling," and I was like, "Sure, why not? I'm here for the next 3 days anyways. We got to do something." And so
3 days of bowling sounds fun.
We head over to the bowling alley, and we're walking in. It was me and my brother, and then my cousins. We're walking in. This dude comes walking up with I don't know, one of those CD folio things, And he's like, hey, you guys want some DVDs? Got some DVD. He opens up, got a whole bunch of just pirated DVDs. And me and my brother didn't even bat an eye. We're like, nah, man, we good. Keep walking. And then we noticed we were the only ones walking because all my cousins were like, yeah, let me see what you got. Oh, you got Bruce Almighty? I'm like, what's going on? Internet,
like it's the dollar bin at Walmart, man. Like
I was like, why are you buying DVDs from this dude? I mean, not trying to hurt his business, but we have the internet. You want to watch any of those movies, you can get
it. See, you IT guys, you know all the ins and outs. Everybody doesn't know these things,
This is true.
That's why people, pay for stuff.
My cousin had a fully set up, attached to the internet media streaming server at his house. Like he knows about this stuff. I guess maybe he just is, helping out the local business. I don't know. Because he had a huge, honestly, he was the one who got me into running my own media server. After I saw his, I was like, well, that's pretty cool. You host all your own stuff. And
you
so,
know,
like,
a crime.
hey, not if it's what you legally own. My CDs on my computer that I am watching, and I will stand by that. And hey, buying them out of a folio from a guy in a parking lot is
That's right.
I'm sure legal.
I'm sure he's paid whatever you need to pay. I'm sure he has. He's done his ASCAP BMI, MPAA stuff. He's all up to date. Right?
Yeah. Next time I'm in St. Louis and if we go to the bowling alley and I bump into him,
well,
I'll ask him, like, hey,
next time be nice and talk to me when I'm trying to sell you DVDs, for Christ's sake. I'm at the bowling alley every Friday.
Let me pull out my digital binder. It's like I got Doom Patrol over here. I got everything.
I mean, at this point, they've bulldozed so many bowling alleys. You've only got a few choices in the city. So so I was going to ask you. So then, you guys, I was going to say service wise, do you subscribe to any services or?
I have Netflix and HBO Max.
Okay.
Whatever
Max.
it's called now. Max.com.
I just got Netflix because T-Mobile gives it to me for free with ads, but whatever, it's free. And then I have a bunch. I mean, I have Hulu, Disney Plus, Max.
You got all the you got the bundle.
I've said this many times because I will admit on this podcast that I have torrented stuff, and I've always said the only reason I torrent stuff is if you don't give me easy access to your, I will pay you for your content if you make it. But like back in the day with HBO, before they had a streaming service, it's like you got to have cable. I'm like, I don't want cable. You got to have cable, and then you got to pay on top of that. And I was like, I don't want that. I just want to watch 2 shows you have. I really don't want that. And nope, can't do it. So yeah, I torrented their shows. But the moment they made streaming available, I was like, oh, here, have some money so I can watch your stuff. Like, I am not against paying money for your content. Make it capable for me to do that. But if you don't, I'm gonna watch your shit. Just being honest.
Yeah. Well, I'd be surprised if Palm Springs is streaming easily on anything currently.
Hulu. It came out.
Oh, it was on Hulu? Okay.
Yep.
Because I've never heard of this, and I kind of browse quite a bit.
It's a few years old.
So now, whenever you watch, do you ever watch together, like get on and Zoom each other while you're watching together, or do you always watch your show movies and stuff apart?
Well, we hang out outside the podcast, so sometimes we'll just sit around and watch some.
I thought you were
together.
still distancing because you said it's
friends.
a COVID thing. So.
No. We honestly COVID. We were hanging out more, but we just were like, well, if it's just me and you hanging out, and we also still had to go into our office was very scaled down, like most people work from home, but we as IT were deemed essential to be in the office. So we're like, well, if we're in the office all day together, then it makes no sense to be like, well, we can't be near each other at a workout.
Right. That's
So
didn't you feel great being lumped in with fast food workers? That was all. That really gives you a good ego bump.
Hey, fast food workers.
But we're forgotten. We're the IT guy. Look, when they had the statue of the doctors, for that, we need the IT guys sitting on the ground next to him, cross-legged with a laptop.
Yeah.
I think they were.
We stayed in the office so everyone else could work from home.
That's right.
Part of our job was half the time was like, hey, we need you guys to make up kits for people to work from home. It's like, man, that must be nice that they get to work from home while we're in the office putting together the stuff so they can go home.
There was like a couple of months right at the beginning when everybody thought it was the end of the world, where I got to spend we were only going in like one day a week or one day every 2 weeks. It was the greatest time of my whole life. It was the best. I lost 50 pounds. It was great. And then they ripped it away.
50 pounds? Oh my god.
Yeah, because I didn't have to worry about taking a shower and then getting in the car and driving. I'd get up and jog. And then
okay. So you took advantage of your extra time.
Day, I do a little weightlifting, and then when I got off the clock, I go jogging again. And because I live next to a forest trail, it was just very healthy time.
So you're not undisciplined. You're just rushed.
Yeah, I'm just busy. I'm just stuck in a chair in the office. That's
wow.
Robert,
I can eat better when I'm working from home. It's just, I'm not eating fast food all day.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. The funny thing is, I as well have done better working from home than I did when I went in the office. As far as that goes,
It's amazing.
Which seems counterintuitive, but it's not. Yeah.
If they, I mean, it's still an ongoing battle, right? Like nationwide of like trying to get ripping and pulling people as they try and hold on for dear life to stay home. But it's a travesty on it. It would be a travesty to humanity to force everyone back into the office if they don't have to be for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, it's all worked, right? I mean, things happen. So.
That's what I thought the most lunacy was. Is this all the companies like, yeah, we need to get people back in the office. I'm like, it's strange because during that period of time, everybody was working from home. It was like all the companies kept functioning, and a lot of them actually posted record profits.
Right.
So
I was going
to say, what's the justification for needing us back in the office?
Well, they need you guys to get all the digital tracking together so they can know what they're doing. Otherwise, they need them in the office to keep eyeballs on them.
No, they just figured out how to do that while they're at home.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Or push buttons. Yeah,
that's why I have a thing over my camera when I'm not using it. So.
Well, they just if you use a work laptop, they just required you to have that camera on all the time.
Right. Which is ridiculous.
I wouldn't do it, but some people don't have a choice.
Yeah. No, well, you always have a choice, I think. But do you want to make money?
You don't want to. You always have a choice. Choices between money or no money. And if you're okay with the no money, then go
no
for
money. So, what do you think? Where do you think this is going? So you've been doing this. How many episodes do you guys have at this point? Would you say?
We just did.
I've done no background, by the way. This is my whole shtick, because I don't look at anything. So,
I think we just recorded episode 206, maybe 205. Yes, 205 is our
205. Wow.
Episode.
Yeah, so
that's some dedication. You're on the way there.
Yeah, we've been doing it for about 4 years. I mean, that's one thing I think. When we start, like I said, we started this as a COVID podcast, and I kind of feel like after COVID ended and things got more normal and stuff, I think there was a moment where me and Robert kind of looked at each other like, "So, are we gonna keep doing this?"
It wasn't sort of. You just sat down and was like, "Okay, what are we doing, Robert?
Yeah,
are we keeping this going? Are we giving up?" And I'm like, "Well, we gotta hire some people." If we're going to keep this going, we got to get somebody that's doing our social media, and we got to get somebody who's doing our editing, so that takes it off our plate because we've got day jobs, know.
I know, but then now you're checking out these things, so I mean that's costing you a little bit, right?
Yeah, but I mean we've got money. Look, it takes money. It takes money to make money, as they say. So we got enough to put into this, and try and move to the next level. And we who
pays for what then? How do you guys figure that out?
50-50.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, do you put into a pot and then split it out and pay that way, or do you pay social media and he pays editing, or what?
Donnell pays and I pay him.
Oh, I see. Donnell has put himself in the treasury department.
We're not that organized. We don't have an LLC set up.
Robert may tell you that I keep telling him that the rate's going up, which is just weird. That's just how it is. The rates just keep going up. So yeah, Robert, I'm gonna need a little extra this month.
Uber Eats? I've never. Who's doing that?
Oh man, that reminds me of a story. Like I lived with these guys when I first moved to the Seattle area. Mm-hmm. And every month, one of the guys, he had the electric bill in his name. And he'd be like, okay, well, I need this much for the electric every single month. Then I move out and get my own place, find out that the Seattle City Light Energy Company only charges you every 2 months. I'm like, you jackass. Like,
hey, well,
I gotta.
What are you going to do?
Well, I don't know. You can probably, go steal something from him. It's worth that. That's what you do to your employer.
Forever. That's the.
I got a Bill story from when I was a kid living at home. That one day my mom called me and my brother, and she's furious. She's like, "You guys have been wasting water." She's like upset, and she shows us the bill, and the bill is for like and it was like $40,000.
Jesus.
Yes. So I'm like, oh my gosh, we done messed up. But then I started thinking about like, wait a second. I was like, Mom, how much is the bill usually? And she was like, I think it's like, and this is 3 people living in a house. We also had pets, so washing dishes, showers, brushing teeth. I think the bill came out to like $175 a month was what it usually was. So I'm like, okay, Mom, if the bill is normally
For water, that's crazy.
$75, and then you get a bill for 1 month at $40,000, like there is no way physically possible. We would have to have every sink, faucet on, and even then, I don't think we could waste $40,000. I'm like, Mom, if you think about this logically, this is obviously a mistake by the company. Just contact them. She's like, she was just like upset because she just was like, I don't know how we're going to pay for that. Like, we're not paying for nothing, Mom.
If I got a $40,000 bill for anything except for a house or a car, I would spend maximum 24 hours of phone time trying to get it resolved. If after I spend 24 hours, not all at once.
Yeah.
Of my life, and it didn't get any progress, I would fake my own death. And just...
Yeah.
I have to get a new identity because of this darn water bill, you guys.
It's cheaper than $40,000 to get a new identity.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What is the price of a new identity these days?
1 bullet.
Oh, no. Oh my goodness.
Just find somebody who I can go on the internet right now and find somebody who looks like me and is close to my age. Okay. And I bet they don't have their paperwork locked up.
Well, that takes me to, I was watching Ripley tonight, by the way.
I haven't seen Ripley yet.
Oh, well, it's about, taking over someone's identity. So, but he didn't use a bullet. So the
one candlestick in the library.
Yeah. So then you guys, you got 205 episodes. I mean, that's fantastic. Is there, do you set goals for yourself each year, or do you just wing it as you go along? Or, what's the plans for the future a little bit here?
Well, we're just we're just incremental here and there. We'll sit down and say, let's make a list of things that we want to do or try. We may do half of those things. Kind of right now is just fleshing out our social media and then seeing what we do about getting some advertising dollars or, maybe
you got to pay these people now. You've already set that up. So
this is part of it. What we're doing right now is getting, one of the best ways to spread your podcast is to go on other people's shows and have them on your show. And that's
what they tell me.
Yeah. The big thing is we just been working on just kind of figuring out what, we basically I felt like, I think both felt like we've been at this level for a little bit. And so we've just been trying to figure out what's the next step? How do we make that leap to the next level?
We're asking, please tell us.
Yes. If you have any ideas.
Bob, you want me to tell you what the next level is? I'll be honest with you. You're on the right path. The hard part about the next level is that you have to fund it. And so if you want to make it to the next level, you have to fund your progression to that next level. And that's always the hard ask, right? So, thing is there's no guarantee, right? So you may be funding it for a while, and then it's like,
No, for sure. But it's incremental progress, right? And that's, if you're looking like, oh, I'm going to make it big tomorrow, like some random person puts out a TikTok video, then you're going to fail. But it's hurdles, right?
Those are all supported by the government. So you got to get in with somebody in one of the NSA or something, or CIA, or else you got to put in the hours.
We're not allowed to talk about what I do for a living.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was about to say something. I was like, oh well, no, we probably can't.
My job is the company I work for is classified. That's
okay. That's all right. I was talking to Homeland Security today, so who knows?
Is longevity, right? Is that we're not like we've done this for 50 episodes and then go talk to people and they're like, well, you're still new and you haven't, you haven't proven that you're in this for the long haul. But when you come in and say we've been doing this for 4 years, that's a different story.
Yeah. Well, you're obviously personable. I mean, that's always a good thing. And a lot of times when I talk to people, I think if you want to go down this path a little bit, I think one of the problems
I've listened to your show a bit.
Oh, which one? This one or the other one? I mean, I got a couple of things going on.
Where I was like, this guest is not working out. Like, I'm not gonna say which one. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but
yeah, I do a couple of different things, but the mainstream media obviously has jumped all over this right now, right? So podcasting is mainstream. We are mainstream, whether you know it or not.
Like every TV show has to have a associated podcast with it.
Right? Yeah, but that makes it great, but also makes it harder because then because of that, then they're looking for different things, and so all the people on the top end of things are known for other media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's a shame if you ask me, but it's just the way of the world. And so, yeah, I mean, it's going to be it's going to be a little while before that flips more. There's little things here and there, obviously, that are stuff in the rankings that are not affiliated with any kind of old media, if you want to call it that, or even old media people, so old media celebrities, and so forth. But it's going to take a little time for all that to rankle out, I think, over time for this to be, because it really, I mean, it's only become mainstream. COVID pushed it to be mainstream. We'll just, that's the honest truth, right? It's been around for a very long time. But it really, people didn't care about it en masse until COVID, and I think it's the change. It's the landscape's changed. Just like you talk about when you're watching things, right? Streaming now is mainstream. So I was just talking to somebody recently, and I was saying I think this is the first year that you could watch the Oscars and the Super Bowl streamed. Mm-hmm. And that was the last bastion of broadcast television, was live events.
Yeah.
And they're gone now. It's streaming.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I always said, like, there was 10 years ago or so was when the contract for the Super Bowl in the NFL in general came up, and I was like, if I was an executive, I'd walk right into Netflix and be like, I don't care if it costs you $100 billion.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to get the rights to the NFL and the Super Bowl. That will cement you forever.
Well, at least for a generation.
Double the price of CBS or whatever it's paying.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, but I think you guys are doing. You're going about it the way that folks would go about it. I'll put it that way. The hard part is just being consistent and having longevity. So, because it's hard. I mean, it's hard to, you would think it would be easy, but it's really hard for people to be at certain places at certain times, even if they're online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, especially with our show, because we're doing a week-to-week show that's following usually following some TV show as it's ongoing. So it's like we've got to do an episode that week because that's when the episode aired. There'll be times between shows where we're doing movies, or we might have we've got like a stock of pre-recorded episodes that we have in case we want to take vacations, or in case something comes up and we miss something. But yeah, it's really, we gotta every Friday we gotta be in the studio, and we have to have watched the material and written
it's
our
a
notes.
Commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that consistency, I think, is one of the major reasons, or one of the major pushes that got us to get somebody to edit for us, because it was like, oh, we can record stuff consistently, but our episodes would be coming out on Monday or Tuesday, or like it'd just be randomly when it got edited. So just getting that part, I think that's, at least for my peace of mind, it's helped us a lot. Just having that, hey, we record and it comes out on time every week, and it's just that sort of stuff. But I think
why I don't edit.
Oh, you got a person for that?
No, I have never edited.
You just go raw.
We just roll with it, and we only edit if we have to. It's like live television, we don't. There's no post.
I mean, that works better because I guess if you're doing video, you don't want to have to edit video because that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, well, and it goes out both ways. Doesn't matter. So so if you have one episode so far out of the 205 that you've created, is there one of them that is your favorite? Let's two-part question. One that's your favorite, and one that is a favorite of people who are coming to view or listen. I mean,
I think a lot of people. So we have a kind of a side thing that we do once a month where we do a Talkin' It, which is not TV or movies. We just kind of, shoot the stuff and talk about some news and whatnot. Those draw in a lot of listeners more than the TV and movie stuff.
Really?
I mean, Talkin' It is definitely, so that's because we have 205 Watchin It episodes, and then we probably actually have more than that because there were some special before we were numbering our specials also. So we have some specials in there, and then also Talkin' It on its own is up to 35 episodes. We do it once a month. So, and so Talkin' It is definitely, it's a different. Like I said, I mean, it's not huge. It's just more like this, honestly, just kind of hanging out and chatting. And that's what we do. And I definitely feel like some of those we've had. I mean, I feel like our most recent episode of Talkin' It was pretty damn good.
Yeah, we had a pretty good one recently. I like the way that Seinfeld said it. He did a Q&A after a show once where someone asked him what his favorite episode of Seinfeld was. And he was like, well, what's your, it's comedy, it's television. It's, what's your favorite breath? Well, the next one, the next thing that's going to keep me going. So,
but Seinfeld's kind of an ass.
Well, I mean, when you get, I don't know, I guess he gets to be,
Sorry, I just had to throw it out there. He has some smug comments every once in a while in his interviews.
He's been very smug.
I don't want to pick a favorite.
It's not terrible, though. It's not like you're going to get canceled for it. There's definitely... As far as celebrities go, he's in a good territory.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just throwing you off. Yeah. Okay, so... obviously, I guess Doom Patrol we talked about, but is there anything else where you're like, gosh, I'm really glad we picked that, series to talk about or movie to talk about?
I really liked our recap of the first season of Severance, and more our decision not to cover it episode by episode.
Oh, so you just did it
we were like,
all
this
together.
Is too good. Just go every episode we would be talking about something else. Would be like, hey, you need to be watching Severance.
Yeah.
And then we watched it to the last episode together, and like within an hour of the airing of the last episode, we had something out, and that got a lot of traffic.
That did have a lot of, I mean, I think a lot of people had just finished watching Severance.
Yeah, we were probably like
me and Robert, we were like, we need more of that. And so, you're going to hop online and see if somebody can give you some content about it. So, I think.
Is there, have they said when they're going to come back with that, by the way? I don't think I've read it anywhere.
That should be late this year.
Yeah. I didn't hear a date, though.
I haven't seen anything about Severance coming back.
I know that they finished airing the next season and that they're doing some posts on it.
I really like that show. I thought it was really quite interesting.
It's fantastic. Yeah, we're living in a golden age of television right now. I call it television, but streaming. But of shows. There's so many good ones out right now. Silo. I can't wait for another season of that.
So besides that, what else is? Well, have you watched Fallout? We got to talk about Fallout.
Oh yeah, we're covering Fallout right now. I'm not sure when when this is coming out, but as
now,
of this recording,
we'll be done.
we've done the first 2 episodes. And I'm sorry, tomorrow.
So
okay,
we'll finish tonight, and I'll post everything tomorrow.
Yeah, we've done the first 2 episodes because it came out all at once. We're trying something different. Normally, we don't cover shows that drop all at once. All the episodes.
We might do a recap,
but next Monday, we'll do episode 3 and 4, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So what's without? I mean, it's hard to do. No, do you guys do the spoilers thing, or what's your policy?
We
on
try
that
not
kind of
to. We try not to, and
I mean, usually
if we are gonna do something spoilery, like if I've read a book, but that the show is based on or something, we'll save that till the end and say this is where the spoiler territory is.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to hear spoilers, you can keep listening,
right.
or if you want to hear our
turn away, turn it off.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil anything. I mean, these are good shows, and there's an enjoyment to watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone's listening to us talk about it, we still want them to go watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if it's a sci-fi show or something that's going to have a mystery to it, we want to preserve that mystery for the listener. That's the whole point of watching the show, is that you get to experience that. Like, there's an amazing show called Wayward Pines,
mm-hmm.
which I don't think a lot of people saw. It didn't get finished, but it has one of the most insane, unexpected reveals of a mystery that I've ever seen. And to this day, I will never tell anyone what it is. I'm like, you've just got to go watch it. I will not ever spoil what that twist is for anybody.
It's not like a M. Night Shyamalan type twist, is it?
No.
Okay, good. Just checking.
M. Night Shyamalan only wishes he could get on the level of Wayward Pines.
He always likes to try to do the twist, and then sometimes it just not really.
Yeah. There was a time where everybody looked at M. Night Shyamalan like, man, he's the guy. And then afterwards, like, is he though?
No.
I mean,
I do enjoy his movies, but he's not the guy.
Everybody liked Unbreakable. Mm-hmm. I liked The Sixth Sense. Wasn't really my jam, but I got it. Mm-hmm. And I'm honestly was a big fan of The Village. I really liked The Village. But everything after that, I was like, okay, he's just a one-trick pony.
Signs? You didn't like Signs? Nobody likes Signs?
Signs
no, right, not at all.
I liked Split. Did you see Split?
But that's an Unbreakable thing, right?
Yeah, it's tied.
There's Unbreakable, Glass, and Split, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Unbreakable, Split, and Glass. Glass is the last one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Split was really good. And it had a twist, which was no one knew it was a sequel to Unbreakable until Bruce Willis showed up at the end.
Hey, that was like pre-super fame Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, now she's in all kinds of stuff now. They overplay
but she's
people.
Really good.
Would you agree with that?
She's fantastic. The menu is great.
She's a good actress and everything, but I mean, I'm tired of seeing Timothy Chalamet and everything, because for me, he's like a nice couch. They just throw him out there and he does this thing and he looks nice, and that's the end of it.
I haven't seen him in anything I liked. I hated Wonka. I hate the new Dune movies. I
feel like he has been in something I like, but I can't pick it.
I don't even know. Like he said, he just.
It was just your dreams, Donnell.
Maybe.
Wonka was terrible, and the new Dune. I mean, for me personally, the old Dune is still fantastic because it's so weird.
We're best friends already. I'll enjoy this relationship for the next decade that I allow it to last.
I love the music. I love everything about the old Dune, and I can watch it and enjoy the bathing in the weirdness of the old Dune. Just fantastic. And
Timothy Chalamet was in Interstellar. Was he the son?
He was a corn stalk, I believe.
He was the black hole.
He's the personality of a corn stalk, and so there they put him out there because they needed one more stalk. No, I don't know. I hate to beat on the guy, but he's in everything, but he's not adding to the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's a placeholder, if you ask me. His stand-in probably has more acting talent than he does, but I just don't get it. I just don't. I've never understood their.
He has the boyish good looks and that head of hair that everybody just loves.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
pretty much it.
That's it. Okay, that's it.
All you need.
Pretty
that's
much
all you need
can
sometimes,
have that, so.
man.
Robert, give him another pandemic, the guy will be looking like Shyamalan. So
that's all Robert needs is another pandemic, and he'll be
in fighting.
I'll take it. I like
Hollywood
the first one.
shape.
I'll take seconds.
You just shave that beard, and then they'll be like, "Oh my lord, he's the new thing. He's the new It Boy." So back to Fallout real quick, and this isn't spoilers, and maybe you guys can talk to this because this is something that I just finished watching it yesterday. That I found from it was that the set design and all of the gadgets and everything were just so incredible.
Yeah, no, perfect. One of the executive producers is shoot, I can't remember his name. I got bad lighting on me. It's messing me up.
You're
Todd Howard,
Shyamalan for us here.
Yeah. One of the executive producers of the show is Todd Howard, who is producer of the games and has been for decades and decades. Mm-hmm. And they had somebody in the room that was like, no, this is what things should look like.
Yeah.
And obviously Amazon was willing to put the money in and do it. But that's not even what makes it really so good. What makes it so good is that it's a nostalgia trip, right? It's for people who have played the game and they're not in your face about it. Everything's very subtle. It's like, okay, well, there's just a stim pack there. It's not like pulling it out with a big thing that says stim pack, and getting all excited about it. It's just, everything's just part of the world.
And they've just, I mean, when I first started it up, because video games transitioning into movies, TV have been hit or miss a lot more miss. And so even though the trailers looked good, I will say when I first started it up, I was like, okay, I'm a little nervous. Let's see how this goes. But very quickly, like, oh no, like Robert said, like the people who made this series played the games, or someone who played the games was around. Because the way things look, the sound effects, you can hear them, and it's just like, that's how it sounded in the game too, and just so much of it is just like, oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what it should feel like. This is exactly what it should look like. So
Now, I never played the game, but my son did, and so I would see it fleetingly. It wasn't like I wasn't concentrating on it or anything. But I mean, to me, it's a world building show. Obviously, it's a world building game, and they built the world. I mean, so many of these shows can't do it. They can't pull it off. But it was all very convincing.
Yeah, I mean, the games go back 30 years.
Yeah, about.
And I mean, that's early computer games where you didn't have graphics to rely on, so you had to have an immersive story to get people in. And then they built off that. Obviously, the games now are have a lot of graphics and look super great, but because they built that immersion, that base of a story, they get to run with that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it was.
This light's killing me. I feel like I'm being ascended to heaven with this light.
Robert's being raptured, everybody.
Only got about 5 more minutes, and you will be. So we'll be.
The glow of I got God over here, like just shining. Right. He's like.
Like, can you
I don't. Have you guys? This is kind of a pseudo time travel because I was talking to this actually with my son about Fallout. I was like, I love the look. I love the show, but I love the look of it so much because it was the attention to detail was just out of this world. But one of the shows that I always comment on about that same kind of thing was something called Man in a High Castle, which is also an Amazon show. Have you guys seen that? Because it's kind of a time travel show.
That is a masterwork of Philip K. Dick. And they completely changed the story, in my opinion. So I wouldn't watch it.
Oh, for the production design, you should watch it because to me, I mean, I realize that it doesn't probably follow the material, but they captured the world as if the Nazis and Japanese won World War II, and they captured it, and that's why the production design on it was just so great. I mean, it was down to the details of the old rotary telephones have a center disc, and in that center disc was a swastika because they were Nazis. It's the Nazi phone system, right? So it was just amazing to me how all that. So you should watch it for that aspect of it alone. It was worth an interesting watch as far as that goes, because when you're watching things, I'm assuming you guys do the same thing, but you don't always watch just for to be taken away, because there's a lot of skill that go into all these things from a lot of different areas. And even though a movie could be horrible, right? Like, well, I'm going to pick on one. Aquaman. The latest Aquaman movie was a piece of shit, and but to watch it, you can say they put a lot of work into it. Yeah, it was just worse than the first one. And but to watch it, you're like, Dune. Look at the work.
Like the new Dune movies, beautiful, well done, but just such a travesty of a adaptation of the books that it's really hard for me to care about.
You're the book guy. Well, it's not as good as the book.
It's not that it's not as good as the book. It's just that they stripped so much context out of the movie. We don't have time for this.
Well, no, let me ask you this question.
I got a whole thing. It's like 20 minutes long. Not.
But don't get me started. The movies and television are dumbing down the material, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
A lot of times. I mean, a lot of times that just has to happen just because there's so much you can't do in the TV media that you can do in books. Like one of the things that I constantly always bring up is in books, you get to hear people's thoughts. We get to hear what people are thinking. We can pivot from one person's inner monologue to somebody else's. And there have been shows that have tried that, where they have a narrator for every person. But, it gets too bloated. Like books are meant to be ingested over time. And TV is meant to be ingested in increments, small increments. And so,
but when you talk about Dune, 1984, David Lynch did it.
Yeah.
It's a really important part of the story.
And it's also an insanely long movie. That's the other thing in today's.
That's why it needs to be a series instead of a movie.
Yeah.
Well, there was a Dune series on Sci-Fi Channel a number of years ago. There was a Dune Sci-Fi Channel series.
And they're pretty good. Children of Dune. It's not bad, but I mean, it's low quality sci-fi stuff.
Right. It's not high.
You're not gonna get that Christopher Nolan grandiose, made for IMAX stuff going on, but
true.
It tells the story better.
Yeah.
So what are you guys looking forward to that's coming out soon? Like I can't wait for this.
The Boys
is the new Boys
coming up next. I'm really excited about that.
That's another series that's done really well with us, and I very much enjoy it.
Silo, The Old Man.
Oh, they're doing another season of The Old Man? I didn't know that.
The Diplomat.
The Diplomat, yes. That's a really good one too.
Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, Netflix just knocks it out of the park.
They're on the fence right now with me, though. They better nail Three Body Problem, and I don't think they can. I've just finished the book series.
You're gonna hate it. I've watched it, and I can already tell the book's better. And I've never read the book.
The book is so insanely good, and the show, the first season of Three Body Problem, follows the book pretty well. It's just the massive budget they're going to need to pull off some of the effects and what happens. They're going to need 5 seasons. They're going to need $1 billion a season coming up pretty soon, and I don't think Netflix has it in them.
Yeah, that's sad.
It is sad because it's a masterpiece of a series.
Even with all the advances, they're going to need all that money. You think with all of the LED
$1 billion is probably more than you really need, but it's still going to be a lot. You're gonna, Netflix has put out some good stuff, but nothing like really high quality sci-fi.
Yeah, high budget sci-fi. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, hey, they got the first season down.
I could be surprised.
Maybe they can.
But I have my doubts.
Pull it off.
I've staked that if they don't nail it, I'm done with them. If they cancel it before they finish, and if they don't get it right, then I'm done with Netflix. I'll cancel my account. They have decided to take on a project that means something to me.
I think that's what everybody says. I'm canceling this Netflix, and then in 3 months they're like, "Oh wait, Stranger Things." I guess I'll.
Yeah, I've got other options now. There's really no reason that I need Netflix.
Okay, so next for you guys, so you're paying an editor, you're paying for socials. Are you looking at what's going to be like the big breakthrough thing? Like, are you just keep swinging, or have you got a strategy on what the big thing's going to be?
Getting advertisers and advertising ourselves.
Yep.
That's really kind of where we're headed. That's the next big one.
Are you going to pay for advertising?
Yeah, so we get more listeners, so that way we have enough listeners that we can get people to advertise with us, or pay us through like a Patreon or something.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have Patreon set up yet?
Yeah, Patreon. We just don't have the people that are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's there.
We got like one person, I think, that's giving us money on the regular.
They're on the outs with you guys because they're estranged, and so eventually you're gonna have to be nice to them.
I'm in that friendship. I got to keep that going forever because they're the only ones that are giving us income.
It's my only Patreon. That's my buy me a coffee buddy.
I just stop talking to them and hope they don't remember. They don't check their credit card bill or something.
They'll get the Rocket thing or whatever, and what am I paying for this every month for? What is it called? Rocket? I can't remember the last.
Rocket Finance, I think.
Yeah, Rocket Finance. That's it.
It'll
That's the
go
new
through
thing
and
right
show
now.
you all the stuff you're wasting money on.
Right. It's like, if you're wasting that much money, holy moly, what are you doing with your life?
I'd get that service. They'd be like, "This man buys nothing. Is he even real?"
They'll be like, a lot of books. This guy's buying books. Well, guys, I want to thank you for joining me tonight. And would you want to, I don't think you've said your
yeah.
So you got to do all that stuff, right?
Plug ourselves. Yes.
And I would suggest you do it earlier in the episode next time, whenever.
You put this at the beginning, but you don't edit. It's okay. You can find us on our website, watchinitpod.com. We cover movies and TV. We also just cover the news sometimes. Mostly sci-fi, a little bit of fantasy, but we branch out. Sometimes we'll do a Christmas movie, sometimes we'll do a drama. Just come check us out.
Is it watchinitpod.com?
Yep.
Watchinitpod.com.
Well, there we go. Look at that.
Oh, fantastic.
Nice.
We'll put it on the screen as well. I just want to make sure I got it right before I hit the button. So Watchin It Pod, and then have you got all the @Watchin It Pods for your socials?
Yeah,
yes.
At Watchin It Podcast.
Except TikTok. We don't do TikTok yet.
Unfortunately, it's one of those situations where you gotta, if you want to dance with the devil.
Yeah,
we know.
Hey, look, we just got a Facebook account, which was a harsh one for us. We were kind of like, we didn't want to do Facebook, but
I know what you mean. I feel the same way.
Man, it's like I'm looking into like the briefcase from Pulp Fiction over here.
Well, wait, you have to dial down your dimmer or something here. Goodness gracious!
It's the day star. It's just that's the natural lighting. That's the.
Oh, we were supposed to do this on April 8th at around two something, but. Well, thanks, guys, and everybody go to Watchin It Pod. Check them out. And I guess is the talking stuff at the Watchin It too, or is it talking?
Yep, it's all on the same feed.
All on the same
feed. Yep. It may be one day if we get big enough, we'll split them off. But
I suggest you buy that URL today because it won't be there tomorrow.
right. Thanks for
All right,
having us.
till next
man.
time, folks.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Hold on.